Emmanuel the Great has decided to protect the French people from fake news. This is a terribly important thing that the government should definitely be meddling in. Absolutely, there's no question of it. I mean, during the elections, social media will face tougher rules over the content that they put online, because deliberate attempts are being made to blur the lines between truth and lies, if you can believe that, and undermine people's faith in liberal democracy. That's right. It's not that they might be seeing something with their own eyes, their lying eyes, I'm sure. Oh no, it's people putting things online that are undermining their faith. Now, what are we on, the 21st week of the Yellow Vest protest? But you know what? You're right, Macron. It's about things people see online. It's not about the things that are happening in their daily lives. So it's a good thing that you're here to protect democracy. Macron said it was possible now at the cost of just a few €1,000 to propagate untruths over social media. Yeah, but we don't need to know exactly what the French government's doing, do we? Thousands of propaganda accounts on social networks are spreading all over the world, in all languages, lies invented to tarnish political officials, personalities, public figures and journalists. All right, enough about The Guardian. I was going to not do it. I was sort of thinking, right, nope. I'm going to hold it in. I'm going to hold it in. I won't just shit on The Guardian because that was lazy and easy. Turns out I couldn't do it. Anyway, in response, he proposed tougher rules on social media about revealing the sources of apparent news content. He also said that limits will be put on how much could be spent on sponsored news material. We need to develop a legal system to protect democracy from fake news. Well, apparently, France's audiovisual regulator will be given extra powers to fight any destabilization attempts by television channels controlled by controlled or influenced by foreign states. Which is good because, goddamn, the Russians are the real problem here, aren't they? Oh wait, oops. Twitter blocks the French government with its own fake news law. I can't believe this has come back to bite you so quickly. We told you. We fucking told you. Every single time. Whatever it is you bring in, start censoring people, will eventually be turned back on yourself. Honestly, it's like just poetry. It rhymes. A social media campaign from the French government has been blocked by Twitter because of the government's own anti-fake news law. Since December, France required online political campaigns to declare who paid for them and how much was spent. But now Twitter has rejected a government voter registration campaign for these reasons. The company could not find a solution to obey the letter of the new law, officials said, and opted to avoid the potential problem altogether. Well done, French government. You put in laws to censor people from saying certain things because you don't like them, and that has ended up censoring yourself. You fucking idiots. It's like Sideshow Bob. Twitter is like all governments are like Sideshow Bob, walking through a field of rakes and constantly smacking themselves in the face with their own stupid ideas. Unfucking real. But I mean, could have told you this was going to happen, couldn't we? The Yes I Vote campaign encouraged voters to register for the European elections ahead of the deadline. It was operated by the French Government Information Service, which had planned to pay for sponsored tweets, according to AFP. Twitter's refusal to take money from the state to promote message baffled many in France. Why? You're the ones who wrote these laws. Why couldn't you follow them? One MP, it's a very French name, tweeted, "I thought it was an April Fool's." Interior Minister Christophe, I can't pronounce these names, also took to the platform to express frustration with the decision. Well, we meant it to affect the people we don't like, not the people we do like. Yes, we know. We know all censorship is about maintenance of personal power. It's about hegemonic continuity. It is not about fairness. It is not about the application of principle. It is not about what is right. It is about protecting what is yours. That's all it is. But anyway, Twitter's priority should be to fight content that glorifies terrorism, not campaigns to register on electoral lists of a democratic republic. Well, I mean, you know, one man's terrorist is another man's president of France. The new French law, which took effect in December, so this took 4 months. 4 months it took for the French government to fall foul of their own censorship laws. Great job. Well done. You did it, you fucking idiots. Twitter does not know how to do that today, and so it's decided to have a completely hardline policy, which is to cut any so-called political campaign. This is what you wanted. This is what you got. You wagged your finger at them saying, do as we say, not as we do. And suddenly they're like, well, okay, we're going to do as you say. But I mean, it's going to be stringent is what we're saying. It's going to be not very free and not very open because, you know, you were complaining that in open societies, people can say things and that's something that goes against what you want because people might say things against you. So now you're stuck in a position where you can't even use social media to promote your own democratic campaigns. And that's exactly what you asked for. So go and cry somewhere else. You made it this way. You wanted this. You put the laws in and now you can fucking reap what you've sown. But I love this. It's not that the law has backfired against us. It's a platform which does not comply that's your law backfiring against you. It had unintended consequences, as censorship always does, and yet you thought it wouldn't apply to you because you're you and not them. That's why. In our opinion, this is a last stand on their part to put the discussion back on the table with the aim of adjusting the measures. Maybe, but why wouldn't they? Well, I mean, I know why Silicon Valley wouldn't actually, but I guess they don't like being bossed around by the French. Who does? But Twitter's own guidelines on European political content state that political campaign advertisers should go through a special certification process. Well, maybe if you'd followed their rules and not your own, you might have actually had this, this made public. But again, I have absolutely no sympathy for any of this. You wanted this. It's a taste of your own medicine. And you can't stand it. And you can't sit there and say, in principle, that was wrong, because it's not. You can't say, well, in principle, what we were doing is right, because it wasn't. All you are doing is saying, we know best. We are the infallible censors, and we will tell you what can and can't be put on. And it turns out you aren't infallible censors, and you have fallen foul of your own fucking laws, you morons. And the thing is, this comes in the wake of just media silence on the yellow vests. You can just go into the street and ask people, do you know about the yellow vest protests in France? And they'll say no. And because the media is not reporting on this at all, and this is one of those things where it's like, it's obviously going from directives from the French state, because the protests are directly against Macron himself. And so the only way to get these things out is through social media. Who knows what kind of thing they're going to do next to try and stop these videos of French cops, armoured police, clubbing the shit out of protesters, people trying to exercise a democratic right in France. Who knows? I mean, they'd already banned them from going down the Champs-Élysées and various other parts of Paris because, you know, the traditional areas where people would go to protest because it's making the government look bad. Like, it's unbelievable that they don't seem to have any kind of restrictions on what they will and will not censor. Even themselves, they will end up censoring themselves. They will end up doing it because they just think that this is an answer. Censorship should never be the answer. For some reason, it is the first place that Western governments are going to. I mean, you guys understand that we, the West, are the progenitors of the idea of free speech. We're supposed to hold it as a value, as a human right. And yet the first thing that Western governments will do is just censor. Censor, censor, censor. Like with Tommy, like with Alex Jones, like with Milo, like with Gavin McGuinness, like with all of them. Just constant censorship because it's just easier than actually engaging with them and dealing with the actual issues that are being raised. It's weak and it's cheap and it's not going to work.